Hi, I'm Georgia. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so glad you're here. Today I'm going to be going through 24 books/series that I want to read in 2024. This is my first YouTube video and I thought it would be a good way to kind of set up my channel by showing you my reading taste through what I want to read this year. If you want to see more book videos from me or just feel so inclined, please like and subscribe and let's get into it. I'm going to go through these in no particular order, but I do have a really good mix of genres. I have fantasy, fantasy romance, dystopian, regular romance, paranormal romance, thriller, nonfiction, drama, sports romance. Yeah, I think that's it. I am definitely going to be reading more than just these books in 2024, but for now these are just some spotlight reads for me, some high priority books. Starting off strong, I want to read Binding 13 and Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh. These are rugby romances that everyone and their mothers raves about, and I want to find out why, but the sheer size of these books scares me. So I don't know. I'll get around to it. I know I will, and I love the new covers. Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This is a young adult fantasy set in Wonderland. I'm not completely sure what the concept is, but Alice in Wonderland is one of my favorite movies of all time, so I feel like I'm just gonna love this. House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. This is the third and most recent Crescent City release, and I'm actually 110 pages into this, but I read that in one sitting and then put it down a few weeks ago because I just wasn't in the fantasy mood. I have heard mixed reviews about this book, so I'm a little nervous to pick it back up, but I'm loving what's happening so far, and the minute I get the fantasy itch, I'm cracking this bad boy back open. The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. This is a football romance and it's really short, and I've heard it's really stinking cute. It says, "Is it ever too late to leave the friend zone?" That's such a cute play on words. I've read Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams, and I'm currently in the middle of When in Rome, which I might as well show because it is one of the books I want to read this year. So this is kind of a two-in-one. But her books are so cute and light and fluffy. If you're looking for a romance just to have a fun, chill time with, I'd highly recommend her books. So I just know I'm gonna love this one too. The Gray Seer by Kim Leggett. This is a dystopian novel, and I don't see too much about this, but what I have seen is amazing. I just really want to get into it. I haven't read dystopian in so long, and I feel like we kind of left dystopian behind with The Hunger Games, The Maze Runner, Divergent, Matched, all of those amazing books, The Giver, and then we just stopped creating them. I feel like everyone's transitioned from dystopian to just straight fantasy, and I'm really excited to get back into that genre because it was my favorite growing up. Speaking of The Hunger Games, I still haven't read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, but I have seen the movie. I know that's kind of a crime, but I loved the movie and I thought it was amazing. But I've heard that the book is better. Of course it's better. And I just love the politics of The Hunger Games, and I'm so excited to get into this. I think the only thing that's kept me from reading it is that I have seen the movie before reading the book, so I know what's gonna happen, so it's not as suspenseful for me. Happily Never After by Lynn Painter. I got this early and I am about like 30% into it right now. It's so cute. It's only like 270 pages, but it's an adult rom-com about two people that get hired to object at weddings. And of course they start to fall for each other even though they don't believe in love. It's so cute. I'm really loving it. I have not read a Lynn Painter book before, so if I really love this, I might go on and read some of her other books because I have Better Than the Movies, Mr. Wrong Number, and The Do-Over. But so far she's done a great job with the book, and I absolutely love this cover. Look how cute that is. The Fake Mate by Lana Ferguson. This is a werewolf shifter STEM romance, and it really reminds me of Ali Hazelwood's Bride, which I read early on an arc and did not like. I gave that book like 2.5 stars, but I really want to give werewolf romance another try, and this just looks so cute and fun. Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is a historical fiction book about a tennis player named Carrie Soto. She's also the author of Malibu Rising, Daisy Jones and the Six, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and all of her historical fiction books kind of connect in a universe. And so I've read those three other books, or I haven't read all of Daisy Jones and the Six because shoot me, but I could not get into it. But I am really excited about this. I want to read it on audiobook. I'm sure that her books are really good that way because there's a narrator in this book at her games, and I feel like that would be really cool to listen to. But I also just haven't read a Taylor Jenkins Reid book in a while, and I always really enjoy her books. I think she's an amazing writer. So we'll see. This screams summer to me, so it'll probably be a summer read. The Indigo Ridge series by Daphne Perry. All I know about this is that it's a small town romance, and I only have 3 books of this series, but they're not in order. I have the first 2 books, and then I think this is book 5. I've been sent these by the publisher, Entangled Publishing. I love small town romance. I think it's always good for some reason. So hopefully I'll get to this soon, and I'll just end up reading the other books on my Kindle. And then if I love it, I'll just buy the physical copies. Masters of Death by Olivia Blake. This is a gorgeous book. Look at this fan art on the inside. Not fan art, what am I saying? Look at this art on the inside. It's not fan art, okay. Gosh, I don't even know what it's about, but I'm so intrigued by her books and her writing. I've heard amazing things, and the art on the inside alone makes me want to read it. I honestly don't even know, so like don't even let me speak on this book. If you've read it, please tell me what it's about. The Long Game by Elena de Armas. I have not read one of her books, but this is a soccer romance, I think, and I don't ever see soccer romances out there. I think it might be a rom-com. I don't know how it's a soccer romance, but I think one of them is a soccer coach. He might be a soccer coach. I'm not sure. I really should know about these books before I say that I want to read them, but it just looks cute, and my boyfriend plays soccer, so it feels a little personal. I've been wanting to find a good soccer romance. I know that Anna Huang is coming out with a whole series. I think the first one's called The Striker, and I'm so excited for that. Spare by Prince Harry. I'm 50% into this. It's an autobiography of his life, and I've been reading it on audiobook, so through Libby, through the library, and it's been really great. But let me tell you, this book has taken me a year. Not a year, not an actual year, but it feels like it's been a year to get through. The audiobook is 16 hours long, and since he's talking about his life, it's really hard to speed it up and comprehend what he's saying, because I usually read audiobooks at like 1.75, 2 times speed. Cannot do that with this one. But hopefully I'll finish it this month, if not sometime early this year. I really want to read the entire Magnolia Parks universe by Jessa Hastings. I have the first 4 books in the indie covers, and the 5th book is on the way. It's called Into the Dark. So the books are Magnolia Parks, Daisy Hates, Magnolia Parks, The Long Way Home, and Daisy Hates, The Great Undoing. These books are basically a slice of life. So from what I've heard, it's like Gossip Girl meets High Society London, and it's just a toxic drama about these characters' lives. And I found this out yesterday, but there's 2 different characters, or 2 different, I guess, point of views. So there's Magnolia Parks and Daisy Hates books, but these books take place in the same year. So the first Magnolia Parks book and the first Daisy Hates book take place in the same year, just from different perspectives. So it really gets you into the series, and I'm so excited about it. I got these a while ago just because of how beautiful they were, and the new covers were coming out, and I didn't like them as much. But lately, I think with Into the Dark coming out, these have just looked and sounded so good. So I think I'll be reading these really soon, maybe even this month. Serpent in the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. This is the only book of hers that I have. I've heard it's like a vampire Hunger Games, but I feel like everyone with a fantasy book will say it's like the Hunger Games, but then it usually isn't like the Hunger Games. But it does make sense, because I think it's a vampire competition, and then there's like 1 human in it. It's part of a duology with a novella in the middle, and I've heard the second book isn't as good, but that the first book is really good. So I do want to read this when I get my fantasy itch back. Reckless by Elsie Silver. This is the 4th out of 5 books in the Chestnut Spring series. It's an interconnected standalone cowboy small town romance. I read the first 3 books pretty fast, but I think this one just didn't appeal to me as much because there's like a pregnancy trope. I think it's like a single mom, and those tropes just don't really draw me into a book, but I've heard it's great. And so I do want to read it soon. I just don't know when. Another slice of life series that I want to read is the Addicted series by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I have the first books, Addicted to You and Ricochet. But I think there's like 12 books in this series, and there's a whole spin-off about the characters. Again, I've heard it's just amazing, and it's such a character-driven plot. And I love that, because I love getting invested in people. So we'll see. I do want to read these, but I'm scared that I'm gonna fall down the rabbit hole if I get into these and then have to buy like 10 other books. Beach Read by Emily Henry. I'm going on a spring break trip to Florida this month with my friends. So I think I'm gonna take this and make it my designated beach read. And if not, I'll take it on my summer vacation at the end of May. It just looks perfect. I've heard nothing but good things about this book, and I've never read anything by Emily Henry. I feel like it's about time to start. The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. I actually got this from a friend for my 20th birthday, so about a year ago. And it is a murder mystery thriller type book, but I never read it, and I don't know why, because the concept is super, super, super intriguing to me. I think I just heard mixed things about it, and whenever I hear a bad review for a book, it does kind of put me off, and I hate that I'm like that because everyone can form their own opinions about what they read. Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. This is another fantasy book that's been on my TBR for probably over a year now, and I still don't know what it's about. It's part of a duology. The second one is Vow of Thieves, and I don't have that. Despite maybe better judgment, I usually never start a series until I have the entire thing, because if I love it and want to move on to the next one and don't have it, I don't want to wait. I don't have a lot of patience with books. But I just saw in the back that Stephanie Garber gave this a good review, and she's one of my favorite authors, so that just moved it up on the list a little bit. The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. This book sticks out to me because she's the bodyguard, and usually he's the bodyguard in bodyguard romances. I haven't read a book by her, but I've just heard they're super cute, like Sarah Adams books, and one of my favorite YouTubers on here loves this book, and it's heavily influencing me. This book also is pretty short. I think it's just 300 pages. So I think this will be a really good, fun, light, quick summer read for me. Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This is a dystopian. So this is an adult new dystopian book, part of a pretty long series, or maybe, okay, no, it's just a trilogy, but there is a spin-off. My friend Diana did send this to me, and she's obsessed with this book, and I trust her. I don't typically read fantasy by male authors. There's no real reason for that. It's just not what I pick up. So I'm excited to see how I like this with a male main character and a male writing it, because it does change the experience a little bit. So if I'm ever in the mood for something a little different, I'll definitely pick this up. And then Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I think this is actually the second book in an interconnected romance series, but I've heard amazing things about this book in particular, which is why I have it, and I'll probably end up reading it first, even if that's not how I'm supposed to. If I really need to read the first book first, let me know. Again, I don't really know what this is about. It just looks like a fun romance. This one is a little bit longer. I think it's about 400 pages, but everyone I know has rated this 5 stars, and I think I want to hop on the bandwagon for this one. So those are 24 books and series that I want to read in 2024. If you've read any of these, please let me know how you liked them, and if you want to see more book videos from me, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.